Only a few races in, and the 2025 F1 title fight is already unpredictable. But what happened in Bahrain didn't just shake up the standings. It flipped the entire narrative upside down, because no one expected Oscar Piastri to dominate from lights to flag. No one predicted George Russell would survive not one, but two mechanical failures and still finish second. And absolutely no one imagined Lando Norris would make the podium with a penalty hanging over his head like a guillotine. So how did Bahrain become the race that turned the 2025 season into chaos? Let's rewind. Going into the weekend, all eyes were on Ferrari and Red Bull. Verstappen was still considered untouchable, and Leclerc had shown flashes of brilliance. McLaren? Most fans expected them to hang around the top five, but not to dictate the pace. That belief evaporated as soon as Oscar Piastri put in a jaw-dropping qualifying lap that left everyone stunned. He didn't just grab pole, he made it look easy. And on race day, he was uncatchable. While chaos erupted behind him, Piastri was ice-cold, lap after lap, building a gap that made the rest of the field look like they were running in slow motion. But what really blew everyone's minds was what happened to Mercedes. Russell started strong but suddenly radioed in, brake failure, then his DRS wouldn't open. Two separate issues in the same race, usually that's a death sentence. But somehow Russell managed to muscle the car through every corner, every straight, and clawed his way to P2. Meanwhile, Lando Norris got a 5-second penalty for a false start. Normally that ruins any chance of a podium. But this is where the McLaren upgrades showed their teeth. Even with the penalty, Lando built a gap so big he still finished third. But not everyone left Bahrain smiling. Carlos Sainz Jr. found himself tangled up with Yuki Tsunoda, resulting in a crash that ended Sainz's race. The damage was significant, and Sainz had no choice but to retire the race a few laps later. And just when we thought it was all over, Nico Hülkenberg, despite a remarkable drive, recovering positions after a tough start, was disqualified. The reason? The floor of his car was worn beyond the legal limits. After all that effort, it was all for nothing. Now here's the part that nobody saw coming: the updated drivers' standings. Lando Norris leads the championship. Oscar Piastri is just 3 points behind him, a rookie in 2023, a title contender this year. And Max Verstappen, the reigning champ, he's now third. George Russell is creeping up in fourth, and Charles Leclerc sits in fifth. But there's one big question no one can answer yet. Was Bahrain just a fluke, or the start of a new F1 dynasty? Because McLaren didn't just win, they dominated the competition. Their straight-line speed, their tire degradation, their pit stops. Everything was clinical. And what about Red Bull? Verstappen wasn't bad, but he wasn't great either, and in a season this tight, not great isn't good enough. The team suffered from poor pit stop execution and disappointing race pace. Max Verstappen, who started fourth, could only manage P6, and his frustration over the radio said it all. Multiple reports suggest his contract includes a performance clause. If the car isn't competitive, he's free to go. Even Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko admitted the team is struggling, and warned that if improvements aren't made quickly, they risk losing their star driver. Is this the beginning of the end for Red Bull's dominance? That's exactly what we'll explore in the next video, so stay tuned here on Final Lap. But Red Bull isn't the only team under pressure. Back to the rest of the grid, Ferrari was no better. Leclerc showed promise. But promise doesn't win championships. Consistency does. And right now, Ferrari looks anything but consistent. Even more shocking is what this means for the Constructors' Championship. McLaren is now a serious threat. Mercedes, if they fix their reliability issues, could be back in it. Red Bull, no longer safe. And Ferrari, hanging on by a thread. Imagine a season where 4 teams are fighting for the title, where every race is a coin toss, where rookies become legends and veterans get exposed. One thing's for sure, the 2025 F1 season is shaping up to be one of the most unpredictable and exciting years in recent memory. But we're not done yet. As the season progresses, there's bound to be even more surprises, and you can count on Final Lap to bring you all the updates, analysis, and breakdowns you need to stay ahead of the game. But before you go, let me ask you, who do you think will emerge as the true title contender in 2025? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Final Lap, and turn on the bell so you don't miss out on all the upcoming F1 content.